And again, just saves some more fuel. You know, it's not inconceivable.
No, it isn't, especially with a restart that opens up a lot of opportunity for moves to be made and then accidents to happen, thus causing another full course caution. So
cautions breed cautions, do they not?
They absolutely do. Just ask the Atlantic drivers in Vegas. Anyway, we won't go there, Jeremy. It's like you say, it's not inconceivable, especially with the infamous turn 1 here at Long Beach. But this will be Tristan's first rolling restart in the Champ Car World Series. He's probably not very used to them coming from a European background. The lights are off on the Toyota safety car. We are going green this time by.
Yes, we are. And Tristan Gommendy started in French Formula Renault. He won the French Formula 3 Championship in 2002, following the footsteps and likes of Sébastien Bourdais and Alain Prost and many, many others as well. He won Macau, the street circuit in Macau that year as well. Ready to go back to green. It is Tristan Gommendy for PKB Racing, who is going to lead the field to the green flag car number 22, the pay-by-touch Mega Spiera car, and a great restart by Tristan Gommendy, and right behind him was Sébastien Bourdais. We see the car streaming across the start-finish line, and down to turn 1 is Gommendy, with a clearly down to the inside, thinks about Tagliani making a move on launch. Oriol Servia, not close enough, James.
He certainly didn't think about it, and it was close. It was one of those touch-and-go things. Discretion got the better part of valor on that one. I think that was a good call from Alex. He didn't quite have it. We might have someone down in the pits.
Marty Snyder there.
Hey, Wally, no more than what happened on the restart there with Oriol Servia, but they did tell him about the fuel, that he is good to go to the end. They want him to save a little bit initially, but he will get the green light midway through this run to attack Sébastien Bourdais as best he can.
Another call there from Bill Stevens, but yeah, as best he can, I think, are the operative words there from Marty Snyder, because already there is Oriol Servia. Bill Stevens.
This could be for Oriol Servia, and I want to remind you guys, this is the second time in his career that he's pinch hit for a driver who had a back injury. Remember, a couple of years ago, he got in there for Bruno Junqueira, who was injured at the Indy 500 and drove for Newman Haas, and now for the second time in his career, he's coming off the bench, and what a job he's doing today.
Isn't he just? There he goes, flashes across the stripe one more time, down Shoreline Drive, the fastest part of the racetrack, almost 180 miles an hour. Then heavy braking for the second gear left-hander in turn 2. That is the red and yellow McDonald's car of Sébastien Bourdais in second place now, behind Tristan Gommendy. And there, here is Oriol Servia in third place, a magnificent third for car number 3 in Forsyth Championship Racing. Behind Oriol, Alex Tagliani, Will Power, then Justin Wilson, Bruno Junqueira, Neil Jarni is in 8th place ahead of Graham Rahal, and then Catherine Legbrand.
I definitely am, and I've caught up with Jimmy Vasser, who's a gambling man. Jimmy, what's the game plan here with leaving Tristan out?
Well, we need 5 more laps of yellow, we think, with the mileage he's making to make it to the end. So we take it a chance. You know, we're kind of really weren't going anywhere where we were, and you know, Tristan's a rookie. Give him a little chance to lead this thing, get a little experience, and get that pay-by-touch car up there.
All right, Jimmy Vasser, you saw get his final race here last year at Long Beach. He hasn't officially retired from racing, but we haven't seen him in a champ car in a year now.
No, James still racing occasionally in the Grand Am Series in sports cars. But James, from your perspective on a rookie out in the lead of this race?
It's fantastic. I mean, he's now done 2 laps and kept 3-time champion Sébastien Bourdais at bay. I mean, Sébastien ran only 0.2 of a lap quicker on that one. He got a very good restart, his first shot at it. He managed to get a great run off that hairpin. He backed the field up well. He's doing everything very well, and all this is going to do is really, really boost his confidence. That's the biggest thing. He came in very late, only got the Laguna Seca 2-day test under his belt before showing up in Vegas, and so for him to come out here and lead this race, very big confidence booster, and hopefully will help him grow as a driver with this team.
Absolutely right, James Hinchcliffe. And Tristan Gommendy, he really struggled at Laguna Seca, Master Raceway Laguna Seca. It's a very physical track, and he was a spent horse.
We've been talking about fuel strategy all day long, and you have to admit that Sébastien Bourdais' team has really hit the nail right on the head. But Jan and Wally, you could perhaps talk about the fact that when you've got a commanding lead in a race, you're not going through the debating that the other teams have been going through today, who are trying to catch him.
So there is Tristan Gommendy with his fellow Frenchman Sébastien Bourdais right behind him. He's done a super job as Tristan Gommendy. Quite tall for a racing driver, over 6 foot tall, and Sébastien Bourdais is using the Cosworth power to pass. Is he close enough to dive down to the inside? No, he is not. Gommendy also used the Cosworth power to pass in the latter stages of the straightaway there. That was just enough to fend off the advances of Sébastien Bourdais. So heads up driving from both those guys. And Tristan Gommendy, you talked about it there, just giving him the opportunity to run out in front. And as I said, he was very much a spent force after that Laguna test. He was really struggling with the physical demands of these race cars. Of course, you don't have power steering. You don't have the well, you do have paddle shifts now, but there's a lot more physical, certainly. You don't have the G-forces and the braking, but the forces generated in turning the wheel on these cars is certainly more than a Formula 1 car. And Gommendy has had to improve his workout characteristics, really get himself a lot fitter to drive these cars. And he was certainly struggling, I think, a little bit mentally coming into the season, but this will just give him a vast boost of confidence. And we're going to see whether he can take advantage of this going on down the next couple of races.
And he does certainly get a mega run off of that hairpin. And Sebastian last lap, he got on the push to pass quite late, and he's not even going to attempt it this lap because Tristan's run off the hairpin is very, very good. He's just really strong off that corner, and that is the key. Is turn 1 is the best passing opportunity here. So he's keeping the 3-time champion at bay. He's just giggling in his helmet right now, Jeremy.
He sure is having a good time, I am sure. And bad news for him, of course, is that that restart did not spur another caution period. So the farther we go here, perhaps the lesser the chance of having another full course caution, in which case he will have to bring that car number 22 onto pit lane for one more pit stop. But still, it's been a good day for him as well. And there is that battle a little bit back. So it's Tristan Gommendy leads with 61 laps in the books here in Long Beach with 22 minutes remaining. Power in the best placed of the Team Australia cars, his teammate Simon Pagenaud. He was restarted, by the way, so he is back out in the fray. He's shown us 4 laps off the pace. We've got 13 cars on the lead lap, the last of those being Matt Halliday, then Dan Clark and Alex Figge 1 lap down. Simon Pagenaud 4 laps down on the field. And in the meantime, we're on board with Justin Wilson. You can see he's lost a little bit of ground here to Will Power, and he has Bruno Junqueira breathing down his neck as well, does Justin Wilson. That is a battle for 6th and 7th. Just right on board with Justin Wilson.
Justin, but he seems to have a pretty happy race car. He seems to be relatively happy with it. We don't see too much movement in the steering wheel. He's going to head into turn 9 now. Just watch his hands. He turns in a little bit of an understeer. You can kind of see what that means is as he turns the wheel, he has to put more angle into the steering wheel to get the car to go where he wants it. The front end's not gripping as well as he would like through that tight hairpin, and then back up through the gears. Man, these cars sound good, don't they?
Oh boy, that they just is turbocharged Ford Cosworth XFE engine, about 750 horsepower, all the way down Shoreline Drive up to just shy of 180 miles an hour. Hard on the brakes for turn 1, the left-hander there. Now up to this tricky little section here through the fountain curves. We've seen some people have problems there in the past. No such problems for Justin Wilson. And you can see, just as you were saying, James, it's a pretty bumpy track here. You can see a certain amount of feedback through the steering wheel there. The car goes light when he comes out of turn 5 there. But as you say, I think this car seems to be handling fairly nicely for Justin right now. He's running in 6th place. In the meantime, let me tell you that Tristan Gommendy has just done his best lap of the race, but half a second quicker than he managed before. A 1:09.868. That compares to the fastest lap of the race, a 1:09.2. So just 0.6 of a second now between Bourdais and Gommendy in overall best lap times. And as you say, Gommendy is picking up the pace and learning and learning and learning.
Yeah, and on that last lap, he was actually 0.2 quicker than Sebastian Bourdais, and he has increased the gap to a little bit over. It was 0.8 last lap. It is currently still stays at 0.8. They did almost the identical lap time. And Tristan again just a tiny bit quicker, and I think doing his personal best lap time again that lap. So he's just reveling in this, and Sebastian knows that he has to pit, so there's no urgency from Sebastian to try and make that move happen. Having said that, Royal Servia is not far behind him, and he is closing up.
Yes, indeed he is. That is going to be very interesting indeed. And that was the 4th best lap of the race, set by Tristan Gommendy in that pay-by-touch car of PKV Racing, the car number 22, dark blue colour scheme with the green numbers. There's a pretty little car that is that Tristan Gommendy is driving in. He's driving in picture-perfect style as well. Meantime, let me tell you, the fastest lap of the race has just been set by yet another Frenchman, Simon Pagenaud. He's 4 laps down, out of contention, certainly for the win, but he is going for that extra bonus point set for the that is up to grabs for the fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 9.207 for Pagenaud against Bourdais 1 minute 9.256.
That's just fantastic. They put him out, new tires, low fuel. I mean, we didn't talk much about Pagenaud's incident, and it's really unfortunate. He was having a fantastic race there. Obviously, his race in Vegas ended with a mechanical failure, but he was putting on a very good show here, and it's unfortunate that he made a tiny mistake there into corner 8. Good that he's back out running, and we're trying to get down to the pits with Cameron Steele.
Yes, I believe it's in.
I was just talking to Jimmy Bassett once again about the fuel economy and how far he can go. They're projecting an 81-lap race if it stays green all the way. Well, under current conditions, now remember, they could be telling a story here. They're saying they will have to come in around lap 70. Remember, you can't always trust the person on the timing tower for these teams.
Yeah, they certainly try and keep a little bit of the information to themselves, but I think it's fair to assume the team has decided, hey, our chance of getting to the end without making another pit stop are pretty much gone away. Bill Stevens one more time.
Bastion Bourdais, the fuel strategy seemed to have really hung together. What about tires, Craig?
Well, running in traffic like we're doing behind the PKV car really isn't ideal. They're kind of getting some front running time, but they're going to end up like 12th or 13th place. So right now all they're doing is using up our tires because of the dirty air. I think we got a race on our hands with Oriole. I got a lot of respect for Oriole, and basically I want to make sure we have the best tires possible for the 15-lap shootout that's going to happen once Gommendy pits.
Shootouts, gotta love it.
Yeah, and of course, Craig Hampson does have a lot of respect for Oriole Servia. Servia had the best season of his Champ Car career back in 2005 when he drove most of the season for Newman House Racing, take over from the injured Bruno Junqueira, who are on board with Oriole, running in 3rd place right now, and Gommendy another very, very quick lap. Marty Snyder with Neil Micklewright in the Forsyth Championship Racing pit.
And me too, guys. There's no grumpiness down here in the Oriole Servia pits. I tell you what, fantastic job so far. Do you have enough tires, though, to catch the guys in front of you?
Well, you know, I mean, I think that the tyres that we have are just as good as anybody in front of us. Obviously, Bourdais is at quite the pace today. Gommendy currently leaving is going to have to be stopping here fairly soon for gas, so we'll see when he stops, and there's nothing holding us up. We'll do the best we can.
How proud are you of Oriole right now?
I'm very proud of Oriole, and very proud of the whole team for recovering. Obviously, devastated by PT having his accident and not being with us. Hope he gets well soon.
All right, currently in 3rd, trying to get back up to the front, maybe past Bourdais.
Yeah, I think you'd be lucky to catch and pass him, because you can see the gap has built up between the 2nd and 3rd place cars for right now. But both Gommendy and Bourdais just turned their best laps of the race, and that was a new fastest lap by Sebastian Bourdais in 2nd place. And as I was talking before those pit lane interviews, I reckon the PKV team has told Tristan Gommendy that there's no hope of making it to the finish, so just go as fast as you can, learn as much as you can, and we'll take our medicine. And as Craig Hampson rightly said, he'll probably end up in 12th or 13th place, but that misses the point entirely, because as James Hitchcock said a little while ago, the whole point of this exercise was take a little bit of a gamble. If there had been another full course caution or two, they could have been looking very, very good indeed. So it was certainly a legitimate call by that team at PKV Racing not to make the pit stop, but they had the added benefit, and that if Gommendy run out alone in front of this field, and he's taking full advantage, and now he peels off into pit lane. So that was a job done there for Tristan Gommendy in every aspect you could think of at all.
Well, they're gambling on the fuel, hoping for yellows. Now they're only going to take 4 seconds of fuel. Essentially, in the flash though, you can see no tires going on the car. Looks a lot longer than 4 seconds, but he's away.
Yeah, and it was a little bit longer. I think that's the first, if there was some sort of a problem there with the refueling, that's probably the first one we've had all weekend long. So kudos there to Champ Car and the guys at Land Motorsports Technologies and all these teams for getting over those problems that were afflicting just about everybody 1 week ago in Las Vegas, just ironing out the bugs on this new DP01 chassis, which this weekend has shown, I'd say, pretty good, very good reliability, quite frankly, James.
I'd say it passed the test. I mean, obviously, actually, we saw in that overhead, there was a car in a bit wide in the first corner. But yeah, back to the car, it's done a stellar job. It's really held up here, and I think it's been a safe machine. It's been a very, very fast machine. And after a few issues in Las Vegas, I think it's been a very reliable machine. As we saw a car moving slowly on the track. Is that Dornbos?
Yeah, I think it is Robert Dornbos. He's was